Hello everyone, 2 minutes, sorry. I need to do the tournament seeding still. Alright, hello. How are we doing? You're all doing well. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you guys being here for some StarCraft 2. Hi. Alright, we're gonna get going in a few moments. I have no idea what we're gonna cast. I've not looked at the bracket or anything. Yeah, I've got no idea. I've got no idea what we're gonna cast. Maybe Geralt Rebellion if they're around. I see Rebellion, I see Geralt. Oh, maybe we could figure that out. Alright. How's everyone doing? Hello. I'm a little bit, well, today's one of them days where honestly I'm kind of pretty chewed up about the fact that the Elite Cup has just completely decided to move their schedule on top of our Monday Cup, even though I reached out to them ahead of time. They said it was going to be fine, and then last minute they messaged me and say, sorry, we must move it to Monday. Even though they had a day and a time, which is also a day and a time I could have ran something, but I did not run something because they had their tournament there. So it's like a double FU, basically. So not gonna lie, guys, I'm not in the best of moods to start us off today. I'm actually pretty salty about it. I'm kind of sick of, once again, always being the tournament organizer who does their absolute best to help everyone out and to, make sure everyone's doing okay. And once again, we're the ones that get screwed over at the end of it. So, yeah, makes me really not like running StarCraft tournaments because we're trying to do the best for everybody, and everybody else just takes advantage, casts our tournaments, and then runs their own right over the top of ours, which really screws us over. So, really not in the best of moods. Pretty salty about that. But we're going to make the most of it. I'm going to get into some games. We're going to cast some StarCraft 2. And basically TLDR go from there. I've got no idea what we're going to cast first round. Like I said, Geralt Rebellion might be most interesting. Hero is going in game. I don't even know who Hero is playing. No one exciting. Maybe Ryung Necron Lord winner plays Shin could be kind of interesting too. So there's possibilities of what we could do. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just probably not going to be the best of moods. I was going to do birthday sellout stuff today. But I'm just not in the mood for it, so we're just not gonna do that. So yes, just gonna grind through some casts and hopefully have a decent tournament. Playlist is good. We got Clem, Shin, Classic, Skillus, Ryung, Beyond, Christiana, MaxPax, Percival, Cure, Nightmare, Hero, Geralt, Solar has forfeited, it seems, and Harstem taking on the bracket today. So, got some good players. Like I say, should be some good matches as we move through. Looking forward to it. Very exciting times ahead. Just figuring out what we're gonna cast, what we're gonna dive into. Just try and get some games rolling. I've got no actual idea what we're gonna do. Yeah, I don't really know. There's a lot of matches will be very good in the round of 16. It's just about getting to a round of 16 match. It's like Ryong has swapped. No, Ryong's here. If Ryong has an opponent, if Ryong doesn't have an opponent, he could just play Shin in like 7 minutes, possibly. So yeah, maybe we wait for Ryong's walkover potentially. Could be a thing. Could be a way of playing this out. And yeah, is the Star Trek game fun to play? Yeah. I genuinely, I mean, it depends what you're into. If you're looking for like an action kind of game or something, then no. But I've actually been continuing to click through it myself, even though I've had absolutely zero reason to continue to click through it. So yeah, I'd say pretty fun. I mean, like I say, it really depends what kind of game you're looking for. It is a mobile game at the end of the day, and that will just straight up not be very interesting to a lot of people, to be fair, right from the very get-go. So, like I say, if you know what you're getting into, I would say it's one of the better mobile games. Like, it has a lot of the mobile elements without being super microtransaction-y. It doesn't push stuff in your face and be like, yo, you gotta buy this pack now, otherwise it's never gonna come again. Well, they might do that, but they don't push it in your face, you know? Like, that might be a thing that might happen, but I just don't think that it's like I said, it's not as egregious as a lot of other mobile games. So today's the last day. We're gonna pretty much be pushing the Star Trek as well, guys. It runs out in a couple of days. Today's our last push for it, and then we have another sponsor lined up in a few days' time, most likely. So that's where we're going with that one. Cool. Alright, we're gonna give Ryung's opponent a couple more minutes, and if he's not here, then we can maybe try and do something with that, so yeah. So Francisco, thank you so much for the 11-month resub on the Prime. Kayu Kangan, thank you so much for the 22-month resub as well. Welcome back. Greg Bello, thank you so much also for the Prime. I've got my sounds muted, but I guess I can unmute those now. Hello. How are you all feeling? How are you all doing? Cool. Alright, we're just gonna be sitting chilling then, guys, as we, like I said, I think we're just gonna, oh, Ryung's opponent showed up. We could cast that then, and then winner of that versus Shin. So something, like, there's not a lot of very good first round matches, if I'm gonna be honest. Okay, Geralt's here actually, so Geralt Rebellion probably is one of the better matchups, so maybe we just go Geralt Rebellion to start us off, and we can just go from there in general. Maybe that is a not so bad plan. Yeah, maybe that is not so bad of a plan. Yeah, let's do that. Or we could go Cristiano Honmono is also fairly interesting early on. We could kind of go for either of those. I think both of those are pretty cool, to be honest. Do. Yeah, thanks so much for... Still didn't show up? I have no idea. He did. No one's told me anything. Someone just reported a walkover, so I'm going to assume he messaged his opponent that he's just going to give up. That would be my guess. Yeah, what's up, Ellen Hunter? Thank you so much for the £4 donation. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Alright. Well, we have, I think, a pretty rough guesstimate of where we're going. Happy New Year, Vesma. Thanks for watching. Will I be streaming Youth Almost 2v2 tournament? Nope. It's my birthday tomorrow. I've got to do things. So I won't be here. So yeah, unfortunately, not gonna happen. Yo, Scorpion, thank you so much for gifting us up to Versmo as well. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm just gonna go for the Geralt game, I think. I think it's just easier for us to get into. Cool. Alright, so we have a rough idea of what we're gonna do. Lovely. Perfect. We'll go into the Geralt matchup, and we will just go from there. We'll figure out what we do. Awesome. Alright, guys. Gonna get into some games here in just a few moments. Get ready to rumble. Geralt is here. Rebellion is here. In theory, their video should not take too long, and we should just be able to kick this off, one would hope. Yeah, hopefully we can just sort of kick this off and get this going. So, hopefully that should happen without too many issues, and we can just, like I said, get straight on in to a little bit more StarCraft 2 action today. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us. As we will take a few more moments and wait this out. Just waiting for some invites to come down. ASAP, basically. And walkovers are coming through right now as well, so... Gonna go to Neon Violet Square, it seems, for this map. Just gonna get that on the go. Girl just needs a moment. Good. Got that sorted out. Like I said, we'll kick this off. Get this rolling. Off into some StarCraft action here. And get underway. Thank you for your patience, guys. Appreciate it. There's been a, few moments. Sometimes it be like that. Sometimes it just be like that. Alright. Clem and Mara out of Moscow Coliseum, bit of a surprise. Yeah, just unlucky way that the group pans out for Clem. Dropped one map too many. Oliveira couldn't put up enough of a fight playing Protoss. Mara just lost a Lancer. I think him losing a Lancer was basically a GG moment already for that group. The moment he lost a Lancer, I think it's fair to look at that and be like, yep, he's not going anywhere. He's not going to have a good time, so... Yeah. We're in a lobby, so we should be able to start up in just a few moments. Kick off in a Neon Violet Square here in a couple of seconds and get into some StarCraft action today, guys. Thank you for your patience. And, yeah, appreciate you guys holding out with us while we figure out getting into games and all of that good stuff. Yeah, at least we're in a lobby. It might be taking the longest possible start time of a game of all time, but we are officially in a lobby, right? So, in theory, we're making some kind of progress somewhere. Ay, ay, ay. Like, it's just gonna be one of those days where I'm in a bad mood, and so everything around us is gonna go badly. That's my current outlook on today. Very, very happy outlook, isn't it? Ay, ay, ay. Good audio from my headset affiliate link. Oh, I don't have an affiliate link. It's a Sennheiser. Check. A Sennheiser HMD27. Pretty expensive. It's a proper broadcast headset. You need a proper audio box to plug it into. A mixer. I can't think of what it's actually called. I think this one was about 700 or 800 euros when I bought it. Been a while. Very difficult to buy, actually. Not easy to find. You can actually get them for like £400 now. Not bad at all. Yeah, they're probably on a different version now. Yeah, I really hope this one never breaks because A, very expensive to replace, and B, not actually easy to find somewhere to buy them from. I'd probably be able to find like the new version somewhere really, but yeah, it seems like a lot more effort than I wanted to be at the moment, so. Alright, players are finally good to go. Gonna kick off. And go into Neon Violet Square. So, Neon Violet coming up for map number 1 of a PvP. And we'll just see how this goes. We might even only do one game of this, then swap into a different match in the round of 16 already, because this took a long time to get going. MaxPax Personal is going to start in the round of 16. I actually don't know if that's super exciting, to be honest, but it's something to look at maybe. As we get into it, in the bottom right-hand side, our red Protoss player here is going to be Geralt, taking on the blue Protoss in the top left Rebellion, as we get this underway, and look to see what is going to happen. 9.5 years, damn. That's a long follow. When even was? That's like, what, like 2015? That's like more or less when I started streaming full-time. It's crazy. Yeah, I've been streaming full-time 10 years this June. Imagine that, you guys have subbed to me enough to be full-time for 10 years. Fools. This scam of pretending to cast StarCraft 2 for a living really turned out to be one for the long con, right? Yeah. Color pros pass each other by out in the middle of the map. As we come on through, the couple of simulators coming up, the gateways coming about as well. I'm just going to continue to see gates and the simulators continue to come into play, so you just get all of that underway here for a few moments. As that probe comes across and is just going to run around down the bottom side. Again, gateways coming up on either side, just going to get the gates going. It's going to be 2 gateways each with the cyber cores on the way to accompany that now as well, so we get all of that up and underway. Again, the cyber core building through, the gateways on the way up, probes in production. So far, so good. I'm excited to see what this game turns into a little bit from these guys. Like, how does this turn out? What do we start doing? What does our approach kind of become? This probe over here from Rebellion looks to be a little bit sneaky. Definitely looking as though it might be trying to get some potential damage here over the next few moments. As it just have. Again, a couple of depths coming up, Warp Gate coming through. Stalker Sentry on the way out from Geralt, so we get that underway as well. Just try to see what will happen. Proxy's Stargates, that's where Rebellion decides to go to. Stargate down to the bottom side of the map. Put that into position straight away here, get that set up. And just maybe having ourselves a couple Stalkers coming through on the side of Rebellion as well, so a couple of Stalkers coming out, Warp Gates on both sides. That Nexus continues up as we speak. And we just continue to get this all on the roll for the moment. Set ourselves into this one right about now. Oh, Stargate going to be popping. A couple of Adepts going to move over the side. And that's going to threaten with a shade in towards the natural, of course, if you can distract and move things out of the way and allow for your Stargate and Oracle to do some damage, then that would be great. The Adept's being dealt with well so far. So that's definitely going to be a question mark. Oracle shows up. Just going to see 6-7 probes going down, so actually does deliver a bit of a punch, and Geralt going to be taking some damage early as the Oracle turns back away through the bottom side. Going to be escaping out of there for the moment. Again, Blink coming up on both sides of the map. Oracle going to activate a few more probes going down. The Stalkers are going to cut across back onto that Oracle as well. Full Biz from Rebellion, which is something that Geralt is doing some work about. He's killing off some probes himself. Obviously, this is going to be a continuous position you can try and contest in on the side of Geralt, right? You're always going to have a good time poking in towards that gold base and trying to deal some damage there. It's going to see another Stalker warping in. So bring that out, Blink upgrade coming on either side, Gateway producing. Just see the couple of Adepts continue to get chased out of there. The Stalkers and the Sentry are going to catch that Adept, which continues to shade away just for now, trying to stay out of trouble to the best of its ability. Both Adepts can gather in. Again, Blink coming up, the Phoenix on the way, the Stalker building. Going to be having ourselves a couple of Stalkers just going to whack away there, and the Adept is going to go down already, so a couple of Adepts getting cleaned out. Still got our Blink coming through and our Gateway in production as well, so just continuing with all of this. Chrono boosting up that Blink. As you can see, the Oracle's pulling back. As Blink finishes on both sides, we'll start to see some Stalker pressure in this game. We should make this a little bit more interesting just in general, so it should be fun. See how that pans out here. For the next little bit, it's just going to be seeing this Oracle continue to come through the top side into the base for a little bit right now and seeing what we can do. We're going to get shot down by the Stalkers, so there goes the Oracle. Like I say, having that gold base a little bit of an edge in terms of economy. The problem is that yeah, the problem that you're really going to run into here is that this gold base is, like I said, just very out in the open and very easy to be attacked into. So then you've got to figure out how you defend against that. That's going to be kind of tough. Stalkers just going to cross each other by. Just for now. I mean, this is going to be interesting because we've basically got a circumvention, and losing gold base probes is going to be much more significant than losing blue mineral line probes, so Rebellion does have more units though, so he's going to get more done more quickly. A couple Stalkers warping in defensively, no Stalkers warping in defensively on the other side, so Rebellion is fully committing to this attack. 12 workers going down from each player. With the recall home, I think Geralt is going to have enough to just chase this away, and that should be the end of that for now. And for the moment, it does look as though that is indeed going to be the end of it, as, again, a Dark Shrine coming up. Stasis Ward coming down as well. We get that all into position here. As we have ourselves Stalkers blinking back over the left-hand side. Phoenix going to take a couple of nibbles. Dark Shrine finishing very soon from Geralt. There is a robo, and an observer has been made, so we've got already a... group of Stalkers moving through. Like I say, we'll see what the DCs can do, because the obs might not be in the best position. As Rebellion feels like he wants to press the issue right now. Continue to go back. Yeah, we continue to go back and forth here just for a moment or two. Just going to see a couple other units coming about as well. The work is going down. I mean, again, the Stalker count seems to be there for Rebellion, but to actually kind of stop and deal some damage might be tough. The Oracle shows back up for some damage in return, which is also quite nice to see. Continue to fight, just going to be seeing the probes pulling in. Stalkers continue to come back the other directions. Just going to be seeing the probes have to keep pulling in here. Rebellion again with an army supply lead. Again, losing so much of economy of his own is not exactly ideal for him though, so that part's definitely gone a little bit wrong so far. Stalkers going to try to come back up. We're seeing a couple Stalkers flying around. So just going to push back in. The Oracle's still just going huge on the other side. Rebellion just completely disregarding any possible kind of idea that he could just be playing defense. GG gets called. If Rebellion defends that Oracle at any point, I think he just wins. I have no idea why he doesn't have a single unit warping in to deal with that, but GG's, and that will be that. All right. Make a little gonna be map number 2. Just gonna get that set up. Is Clem playing today? Yep, he is in the bracket. How much time is left on the Star Trek promo? Like 2 days or so. 14 to 15 seems like it'll take weeks. Yeah, if you don't have speed ups and stuff, it probably starts getting very slow. So yeah, probably is gonna pretty slow down a little bit. Yeah, I think it's like 3 days from now or something. Not going to make it, that's all good. We've honestly done very well with the Star Trek sponsorship. Like I said, today's meant to be my final day pushing it. I'm not in much of a mood to push things right now. We're also meant to be doing birthday balloons for like anyone that subs and stuff, because it's my birthday tomorrow and I thought I'd try and sell out for my birthday for once, because it's been a while since I actually did a proper birthday sellout, but yeah, like I say, the spirit is not there, so we will just grind through some StarCraft games and chill. Probe comes over, gate comes about. Gate's coming up, assimilator's coming in. We'll see a couple of probes pulling about. Again, gates coming up, cybercore coming in. So 2 gates each once again here. The starting point of this is pretty expected. Nibble. Probe's taking some shots. Cybercore's coming through. It's continuing to come around there. As again, the double gates will set up. Obviously, that proxy in that last game gave you a good starting point to the game as Rebellion. Really kind of put you into a position that you could play from. Which is why I'm a little bit worried for him on this time around. Because I feel like now he's kind of going to be having a little bit of a tougher time to try and make this work. But I feel like that's going to be potentially a little bit rough as we get this set up. Stalker's on the way out on both sides. Again, the warp gate's building through, and Probe is going to nibble some of these rocks that obviously die over time anyway. Probe nibbles are probably not going to make much of a difference there, to be completely honest. Probe facility, Stalkers, Warp Gate, continue to come up. Just going to be seeing a couple Stalkers going to get there. Probe will go down. Stargate still building through here, finishing in a moment or so. Nexus coming online as well. Again, that Warp Gate, the Probe, the battery. All of that being brought up as the Probe of Geralt gets back towards the middle of the map once more. It's just going to take that straight out into the center again. And bring that straight through. Again, Nexus coming up on both sides. Probe's in production. And those Stalkers going to get there to pick that probe off as well. So just going to be able to nab that, take that down. Stalkers will continue over. Again, our batteries continuing to build as well. Going to be having ourselves the battery, pylon, and the Nexus continue to come through. Oracle and Warp Gate continue to build up as we take a few moments here. Stalkers is going to ping. The battery will take some damage. Stalkers coming back the other way as the battery does some healing. More Stalkers getting warped in now. The Oracle escapes back up to the top side, so Oracle just going to get out of there and can continue to fire a couple more of those probes, taking damage as well. So a few more shots coming through. Again, while all of this happens, see our Stalkers repositioning a little bit. Coming out over to the right, the Oracle still whacking away. Sentry gets lifted back into the Warp Prism. I'm just going to pull that away for a few more moments as well. Well, the Ant will continue to move about, just cruising here for a few moments. We have our Void Ray coming on in, the Gateway and the Pylon coming down. The Oracle going to set up a stasis ward in the main base. That is going to catch quite a few probes, so some damage being done there. Stopping those probes right away. Big attack from Rebellion on the other side, going to hit the good force field, knocks 2 Gateways out of production. And suddenly Geralt has to find an answer to a Protoss that's already in his main base, so not exactly ideal. Prettiest of places to be. We're going to recall into the main because we could play some kind of run out of here. The Prism's going to struggle to do much microing just because it's not in the best position to kind of just lift up and to take units away and to kind of pull them back. So that's going to be a little bit awkward for a few moments. Prism does get away low HP, but a lot of units end up dying. However, Geralt also loses 20 probes. It's Geralt's army supply coming out of this. That's good, but the probe count is an issue, and his production being shut off is an issue. And obviously, this is just straight up kind of pure basic kind of gateway units. They're not upgraded at all, so they are not going to be super good either just yet. As the Stalkers continue away through the bottom side. A couple of Adepts coming by, the Twilight Council coming up. Voidray will be finishing charge on the way. And probes coming up on both sides. The Adepts on the way through the battery. Building as well, just going to see Voidray still cruising about. The rest of these Stalkers continue up the right as they get ready to poke onto the natural. Stalkers will knock down some rocks. We take a few steps forward. Just going to be seeing a force field coming down. Stalkers going to get stuck a little bit. We continue to take a position here on the natural, setting up to be a little bit feisty as the Voidray helps get rid of a pylon. I mean, you gotta do some work here as Geralt. He's actually only 4 workers behind and on his way to charge now. I actually don't hate where Geralt is actually adding kind of the long term of this game, so I think it could be a whole lot worse, to be honest. I'm just going to see that charge continuing through as well. Extra gates coming up. I actually do not hate where Geralt's at all. I think he's actually getting into a fairly comfortable spot. As these couple of Void Rays just going to linger as well. Opportunity to maybe run in for some harass at the right moment. And those Stalkers don't have Blink. He's going to go for the Twilights. If he had Prismatic on both, which he does have now, it's going to actually be close. It's actually going to be... as the shields disappear, starts going down more slowly. This is a very adventurous play. Yeah, we're just going to have the battery obviously doing a lot to help there. Even an energy overcharge to save it. Oh, I mean, still, I guess not a bad idea really. Force the battery. If the battery wasn't in the right place, that could have been huge. The stasis catches pretty much every single probe, so all of those probes getting caught. The Voids come back through. Twilight Council's finished its upgrade now, so it's really not that much of a factor if you lose it. Apparently stasis down here as well, but Geralt definitely making plays to bring him back into this game and to keep him in a pretty good spot here for the moment. As that Voidray still lingering up at the top. Just going to be seeing the gateway over on the 12 o'clock setting up as well. That's also going to gather up just for a few moments here. And another few units of Rebellion just going out the front. Stalkers, the Immortal, gathering together for now. I'm just going to knock our way through these rocks as well. So Stalkers and the Immortal here just going to go through. Rocks take a lot of damage. Blink coming up. Probes still being reproduced on both sides as well. So both players prioritizing, continuing to build up that economy for the foreseeable future. And Geralt has a lot of units gathering together. And with Charge, I actually think he's going to be in a very scary spot. Rebellion's lost a lot in this game. And that's just the way that he's been playing it. He was quite aggressive to start out with as well, right? So that's kind of catching up with him now. As we do have these units going to press through. Zealot Stalker going to hit the Nexus. I mean, units of Rebellion just going across the map already. Away they go. Zealot will get rid of a whole bunch more probes. 17 workers going down. Pylon going to get knocked down there as well. Now another Pylon gets taken out. This is going to be seeing even more probes are going down. We pull over to the left-hand side. We can pick away at this Pylon. I think it's fair to say that this is looking as though we're having ourselves a very Geralt-favored game number 2 conclusion. That Nexus falls, and this really is just going to be it. GG for our first series of the day. I mean, you can try and win the base trade, I guess, as Rebellion, but to me, this base trade is already lost. So, yeah. Voidray gets taken down, and yeah, Geralt is going to knock Rebellion away. Like I say, I mean, at this point, he just needs to win the base trade, which is not going to be difficult. There is a Pylon here. He kills the probe. A few probes in general are trying to do that thing. He picks off the Prism. He doesn't even need to win the base trade. He's just going to win the army fights. GG's, and Geralt wins the 2-0 in a very expected victory for him. He's definitely the favorite there. we'll move through to the next round as our tournament is already in an interesting place. So Clem and Milky Cow are playing. The winner of that plays Classic or Skillus. Shin plays Ryung. The winner of that plays Bjorn or Christiana. MaxPax playing against Q or Nightmare. This is like the longest going round 32 match. So Geralt goes on to play Hero. The winner of that will play Harstem. That section of the bracket's already set up. So yes, that section's already establishing. Very quick. I mean, the fact we're like, what, 40 minutes in, we've got a couple players in the round of 8 already is a little bonkers. Classic and Skillus went in game not so long ago. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Alright. I'm just gonna throw us to break, guys. I'm really not, I'm sorry, I'm just not in a good casting mindset today. We'll go to break and come back whenever I find a game. I don't know what we're gonna cast, but we'll find something. Alright guys, we're going to jump into Skillus versus Classic here in a couple of moments. Going to get that ready to rumble. Skillus leads this 1-0 going into game number 2 of this best of 3. So kicking this off, continuing to some more PvP. Skillus up 1-0. The winner of this is in the same section of the bracket as Clem for the round of 8, so likely going to be interesting there. Top right, bottom right, sorry, is going to be our Red Cross player who apparently is down again after game number 1. They played about a 15-ish minute game 1 from what I could see. Classic in the bottom right-hand side is in the top left. We're going to see the blue Protoss player Skillus. We get going into game 2 of this best of 3 series. Everybody's Protoss. There's a lot of Protoss in these tournaments usually, to be fair. It's not super unusual to see a lot of Protoss players. Just unlucky that we found, I guess, a couple of PvPs back-to-back to start the day, really, more than anything else. As our gateways come up, the assimilators will start, and we get this underway. Game right now. For the early stages. Obviously just watched a bit of PvP. It was very 2-gate heavy there. It's going to be 2 gates apiece here. No one's going to try for a faster expansion or anything of those sorts. So nothing too crazy just yet. We get settled down for the moment. Yes, the Cybercore is moving about. Gateway is coming up for a few moments. Just going to get that settled down. This pro, there's a little proxy from Classic in this bottom left corner, so he's going to hide away a Stargate, going to try and go a little bit hidden with that, and just try and be a little bit of a surprise factor in these early stages. A couple of Stalkers coming up on either side, Warp Gates coming through, and those pylons continuing in. Again, there is that pylon already getting nibbled at here as it blocks up a little bit, and our Stalker does move out, so should just be able to come in and actually kill that. Classic not going to reveal the Stalkers, I think, until the pylon finishes, so the reason is he doesn't want to reveal what units he's building, because if this is a depth, you just cancel the... basically, you leave this pylon up in case it is a depth to keep the Nexus blocked a bit longer. Because it's Stalkers, if you see a Stalker hitting it, you're going to cancel that pylon, right? So Classic waits, forces Skillus to finish the pylon so it doesn't have a chance to cancel instead, and away we go. Oracle just comes moving away. See Oracle hanging around, another Oracle popping. Looks as though we're going to try and get back in there in a moment with Classic. Classic is Skillus is going to have a Sentry here met by a couple of Stalkers. That's not going to go great. His pylon here found as well. This game definitely not going exactly the way that Skillus most likely planned it out, so not looking ideal there. Let's just have a gain Twilight Council on both sides. Nexus continuing through. Pylon on the way. Again, that pro continues up around the top. The Oracles will activate for a few more workers as well. A little bit more damage being done. Just for the moment there. Looking good. Again, Hallucination, just going to whack away for a little bit longer. Just going to hit those Oracles a little bit. Wants to keep a track of them as they hide in the corner. Skillus obviously hallucinating as well. Always a hallucination battle in the PvP, trying to figure out who is up to what. what is going on and what we need to be on top of and ready to deal with basically at any point in time. So, again, just keeping all of our eyes on that as we move through. I'm just going to see those couple of oracles still patrolling. A couple of adepts going to shade into the main base, and they're going to try and get some work as they were misjointed or misaligned on their first shots. Now going to drop the double stasis in the back as well. First one goes off, catches a few probes and a stalker, and those adepts still around for a little bit longer as well. There's still a stasis there if you kind of forget about that, as Skillus be rough. Yeah, he's going to walk all the probes into that other stasis ward as the adepts shade to the low ground, and they're going to be able to get away for one more probe kill. Pretty disastrous for Skillus, loses 7 workers, classic, with a good bit of bullying done here and putting himself in a good spot. Still has those oracles alive to make a bit of a jab at things as well, so opportunities definitely available from here on out. Next is just going to drop down. Again, the Dark Shrine coming up. Just going to see our Blink coming through on both sides. Oracles hanging around over on the left. We've seen our couple of oracles continue to ping around, seeing what we can get up to. Gonna see Skill's trying to push, but it's not gonna go well. GG. Classic is gonna take game 2, so we get tied up here in this best of 3. We'll head into this next map in just a couple of moments as we continue by. Keep these games going. Alright, next map coming up. See what game 3 has in store for us between Skillus and Classic, and we'll get this all underway. Neon Violet Square, if not mistaken, coming up. Get started, and we'll go into game number 3 of this series. So final map of this one. Nothing, no updates at all on the bracket actually. All the round of 16 still just playing. Players who are already in the round of 8 are still the only players in the round of 8 for the moment. Now let's head to Neon Violet Square. As we've got in the bottom right hand side our red Protoss player. This is going to be Classic. And the top left our blue Protoss is going to be Skillus. Probes coming up, pylons coming through. Just going to be seeing this getting going. Coming through, Assimila's coming up as we get settled here for a few moments. Get this underway. Extra gates coming in. Actually going to be seeing the lack of an extra gate here from Classic. He might try and expand. Again, Cybercore coming up, the Zell coming through, Probe on the way out. Continue to get this established here for a few moments. Probe nibbling up at the pylon. A little bit more damage being done. It's going to be seeing the Skillus proxy going to get doubled down on Robo and a gateway. Classic knows about it, and Skillus just says, cool, you know about it? Well, hold it. Show us that you can hold it, basically, is the TLDR. I'm going to go down. Skillus has a second pylon. He does have the probe still here as well, if necessary. So let's Stalker. It's going to ping around. It's going to get a few more shots coming about it as well. Going to have ourselves the pylon continue to take a few more hits. Just going to be seeing this going down. I mean, this is kind of a disaster here, realistically, for Skillus, because you're going to get depowered, your supply blocked. A Voider on the way up from Classic. I mean, this is just going to be a defense from being well set and being well established, basically. This is not going to be rocket science. It's going to be pretty easily figured out. And I think this one is going to go downhill, unfortunately. Stalker's going to fight. The Adept's still getting chased. So again, just a little bit more being done as those Stalkers push away. I mean, again, this is a nightmare for Skillus, whose entire all-in is pinned upon that Robo. I mean, we built another gateway back at home now. Full wall off here. These Adepts can't even get in for the moment. We're actually going to kill the Robo. Skillus is going to turn this into a 4-gate blink, but extremely late. Well, Dev's going to shade about. It's going to be seeing the Stalkers and the Voids coming around the left side, activating those Void Rays and putting some damage out. Gateway's taking some shots. Stalker's still coming through, trying to fight back in return. I'm just going to be seeing a couple of Voids still trying to get active on this Gateway. So Gateway will take some damage. Stalker's going to show up. Just going to see those Stalkers coming through and picking away at the Void Rays. So Void Ray taking damage. I mean, does the Classic need to be here? I guess maybe not, but I mean, at the end of the day, his position's great. He's got an expansion up. Actually, he's just going to come in with this next Void Ray and put a bit more damage in, but decides not worth sticking around too heavily for. Going to pull back once again. And Skillus is basically all in then on this one base blink 4 gates, so he kind of has to do one thing and one thing only, which is just go, go, go. Stalker's going across the map. Where they go. Maybe having our Stalkers pushing straight down. Let's see if we can do enough here. Like I said, with Blink, you've got some potential, but there's going to be defensive batteries. There's the Void Rays pulling back nicely already. Already cutting down this Stalker count a little bit. You probably are going to lose a little bit here, but I love the fact that even Classic has an Immortal. I mean, this does not really get much better. Looks as though Classic is going to get through to the round of 8 on the back of this one. An Immortal coming in, Zealot building, a couple of batteries coming up as well. Just going to be seeing the Gateway getting knocked down. Teams of Classic still gathering together. Just drop another Gateway off over to that right-hand side. Couple Stalkers coming up as well. Just going to have those Stalkers underneath. More shots coming about. Maybe GG's Classic takes this one. Just like that, GG's Classic takes it 2-1 over Skillus, advancing to the round of 8, where Clem is the very likely opponent. He's playing multi-cav right now, but that's not decided yet apparently, so we wait for that to continue through. Thank you, Solly, for the 78-month resub. We'll take a break and come back whenever there's another game. Hey guys, so we're just literally waiting for a game. Either Shin versus Beyond Christiana or Classic versus Clem and Milky Cow. Clem and Milky Cow played like a 19-minute game, went into a new game, and started before I could ask them for an invite, so we were sitting waiting for that for a long time, only for that to backfire on us, so that's why there's an extended delay. So yeah, sorry. Not the greatest of WardiTV Mondays today. That's okay. We only have a few more of these. And we'll free up the slot for other events that want to take the Monday space again, because there's apparently a lot that want to take it, so no worries in that regard. Right, we'll be back in a few. Like I said, just looking for a game. I'll see you guys soon. Here's gonna play Harstem. Should we just cast some more PvP, guys? I feel like we're just gonna cast PvP all day, but I feel like there's nothing else going on. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go hero Harstem. Cool. Do you know if any Premier SET tournaments have been announced? Nope. Nothing. Alright, so we're going to kick off into Hero versus Harstem and go into another PvP. Whispers of Gold going to be our opening map as we get this underway. So, get this started up here. Away we will roll. Map number 1 of this best of 3 series. I'm going to start in the top left-hand corner with our blue Protoss player Hero. Taking on in the bottom right, our red Protoss player Harstem. Okay, so away we go. Into some action, into some games. I'm looking to see whether Hero or Harstem will be able to come through on top of this one. And the round of 8, the winner of this into the round of 4, into the semi-finals. That'll be coming up in the near future as well. So we've got all of that ready to go. Yeah. Today. Exciting times as we get ourselves settled up. Wondering kind of what the plan's going to be potentially from these guys. A bit of aggression could be on the cards, right? So, yeah, just wondering if we're going to see expansion focus or kind of like more of a expansion focus, or potentially even, like I say, a bit more of a aggressive focus. Because PvP obviously provides both. Last couple times these guys played, it was actually pretty interesting. Harstem definitely put up some good fights in a series he's definitely coming into as, you know, an underdog, I think is pretty fair to say. So yeah, I was actually pretty handy. He was actually very close to beating Hero, if I remember correctly last time. I'm not sure. I think that was a WardiTV event. I just can't... I mean, it might have just been a Monday Cup. Because I feel like I didn't watch it, but I watched it happen, but I didn't watch it, you know? So I think it might have just been a Monday Cup that we were covering, but we weren't actually in the games for. So, something to that effect at the very least. Have ourselves the probe over here, just patrolling around. Harstem ready to throw a robo facility just outside of his base. So not super proxy, but obviously hidden away in the sense that this probe will not see it. And it's kind of interesting, right? Because that's obviously, like I say, it's hidden, but it's not to the effort of being proxy. Now, it's a pretty small map anyway, so maybe he wants the safety of it, being back over in this direction. And it's still going to be a little bit faster to get units across the map in that scenario, so I can kind of get it. You know, I can kind of see the concept. Like I say, well, I guess we'll see how that continues through, given a little bit more time. As a couple of adepts will come shading after a probe here for a few moments. Again, prison coming up. The Stalker's on the way. Stargate and a couple more Stalkers coming out. The Adepts are going to go flanking. The Stalkers will chase as well. The Stalker's going to get one Adept. Now going to turn around looking for the other. That does shade out of there. And again, we just have ourselves the Prism sentries all on the way through. Here we're in a situation right now where he doesn't know about that Robo still, so he's a little bit blind. And building up an Oracle is going to help him to harass a little bit. Will not necessarily help him defensively speaking, though. So that's going to be intriguing, as Harstem obviously just has the Prism and can have quite a lot of Stalkers. I mean, you can obviously still get some value out of an Oracle. It's just not going to be the deal breaker 9 times out of 10. As the Prism Stalkers gather, we push into the upper left side here to see a bit of what's going on. Gateway's coming up. Just going to be seeing the Oracle flying across the sentry back into the main base a little further as well. Those Stalkers all gather up and just going to go straight for one of these gates already. Now I'm going to turn back onto a couple more Stalkers. Continue to fight. Obviously, Harstem, I mean, that is a gap you can walk through, but he decided not to. The Oracle gets deflected. Oh, well, I actually got a massive stasis ward, so Harstem's going to be missing money to warp in with. That's obviously a shame. That's not exactly ideal. Gets the probe over in that corner. The few Stalkers still gathering together. Oracle gets some energy, gonna go out across the map, and I mean, time's running out for Harstem to be super effective, right? Because at this point, we are seeing a Robo producing an Immortal. With an Immortal out, I think this is over for Harstem. I don't think he goes any further than this. I don't think there's any more success to be had at this stage. I think this is just it. It's done. As the Oracle flies in, a couple of probes take some damage. Gonna go back the other way with that Oracle as well. It's just falling out of there for a couple of moments. Oracle peels back. Actually, I mean, we got both the gateways, which is something, but it is one base each. I actually like that Hero now builds a Phoenix, because the Phoenix is something that can do good at shutting down the Prism, lifting up an Immortal. A lot you can do to really just take things out of the equation here and put things back in your favor a little bit, so that's definitely a pretty sizable bonus. revelation onto this army. Keeping track of things for a moment or so. Just taking the expansion. I think just content with what he's done, realizing that Hero had enough of a defense on the way up to handle this, and just happy to kind of move on from there, essentially, as the next comes in on both sides. The Observer building. Immortal still coming through. You have those couple of units just going to chase down the Hallucination for a couple of moments. Nothing too crazy there. I'm all just producing. Forge on the way up. Just going to see the rest of this army from Harstem gathering, ready to push into the upper left side. That Stalker's going to go after a few more of those probes. Well, Harstem's push is going to be good, especially because Hero's Prism is out of position. That's absolutely huge, because straight away here you can see just traps the Immortals in the front, and they're not going to be savable. And so with those Immortals taking some heavy losses already, Harstem actually has a very scary push now. Hero's on his way back with these few Stalkers. He needs everything he can get over here. Again, Harstem is in a very comfortable spot already, as this Prism flies over the army nearly, so that was almost disastrous as well. Something else we've got to be very careful of realistically, as now we get going once more. The Immortal gets lifted up into the skies. The Stalker's trying to step forward. Harstem's Prism being targeted. It will not go down, though. He flies it far enough away now to be safe. However, is it good enough? He's trying to hit through the Immortal during the battery, which is obviously an issue. He saves his Immortal for one more second, but that's going to be it. Harstem is not going to have much more here as he loses the Immortal, and Hero's going to get another Immortal out. This fight has gone Hero's way. He's going to clean up everything, and that is a defense made, although Harstem is still up by 7 workers. Hero lost probes during this, and like I say, Harstem gets reset fairly heavily. This is one of the benefits of not having proxied the Robo. His Robo is close enough to home, it's still active, so you can rebuild off of there now. What a defense by Hero. He did the right thing. He pushed Harstem's Prism away. I think it's weird because I feel like Harstem almost wasted too much time hitting the Immortal on the battery. It's nice to get rid of the Immortal, but I actually think he would have been much better off had he just... yeah, I think he would have been just much better off if he just... targeted the Stalkers, because if he got rid of the Stalkers, he could have also brought his Prism back in to micro. And I wonder if that just would have helped more, because it took him so long to get rid of the Immortal anyway. Like, I understand the right click on the Immortal, but it obviously ends up going a little bit messy in the end, so a little bit rough in that regard. Stalkers back into the main base. A couple of Immortals are going to go and actually depower the Robos. I talked about that Robo being in a safe place, but it actually does get punished there now. That will go down. Hero pulls his Prism back to middle of the map. And again, +1 Immortal. Fire Council. Continue to come through. Just get all of that on the way up. Blink halfway done. The Gateway and the Stalkers continue to build. Robo base starts, Gateway coming up, Nexus on the way through, got a couple probes, the Observer and the Stalker coming around, Oracle Immortal and the Charge coming up as well. Continue to get that into play, the 2 additional Gateways producing through as well currently. Harstem's army comes up to the top, creating a little bit of a possible push into the natural. He's going to settle down. The Maul's going to be there. A couple shots going off immediately. Again, the Robo Bay coming up on the natural as well. Now the Nexus, now the Gateway continue to come through. Stalkers, Immortals, and Sentries continuing to come across now. Getting back home. Harstem still maintaining a slight supply lead. Most of that is in workers, actually. Hero has a slight army lead. I mean, obviously, Harstem just on 3 bases here. Surely, Hero's going to throw down a 3rd base. He's on good upgrades. Going to +2. Harstem without a forge. The only issue with that, though, is that you're essentially right now, what we're basically saying is that basically Hero... Harstem's going to have actually a good answer because he's going Disruptors. Disruptors don't really care so much about upgrades, so while the upgrades are nice for Hero, it's only a somewhat kind of, you know, partial kind of advantage, really. Gnolls and Zealots gathered together. Still got our Forge and our Disruptor continue to come up as well, so all of that coming through. As that +2 attack upgrade starts up on that Forge. Again, the Nexus building on the 3rd. Well, Sentry Shot's going to fire. Hallucination going to take some shots. A few more hits coming through. +2 attack finishing, and again, a couple more High Templars on the way out. Just going to have ourselves the Stalkers gathering up back at home. Wandering around to see what they can get up to. Harstem looking for 4th base. I mean, again, yes, Harstem's behind on upgrades, but I feel like the Disruptors do just undo any real meaning of that in a big way. +3 attack is on the way through. A couple of probes coming about. The pylons are in production. Probe facility, Nexus, probe, Disruptor, +1 attack. All of that continues in for now as our army again regathers up over here. Harstem's game plan right now is TLDR, just get settled right and just basically press his advantage economically, right? And just keep on taking bases and improve his army because he's able to keep on taking bases. Definitely, I think, steps in the right direction. Shots coming through, the Zealots are going to come charging forward. Disruptor tries to fire, seeing what might happen. Oh, nice set of force fields once again across those Stalkers. A few Zealots taking damage again. Now it's going to be seen this Robo Facility. Actually protected for a moment, now it goes down. That's rough. I mean, Harstem has another Robo building up a Disruptor, so not the end of the world. And sends them a lance for that Colossus he was building too. But he's actually not continuing with that now that that's been cancelled. I wonder if he'd go back into Colossus. Colossus are an interesting one at this kind of stage of the game, right? I'm just going to keep building Disruptors right now. Rebuilding that 4th base as well, but Hero's now going to equalize the 4th base timing and... Guess we'll see where we go from this as our Zealots, High Templars, Phoenix and +3 attack all continuing through. On the bottom side here, these Zealots still gathering up as well. Things thrown together. Again, the Prism moves away. +3 attack not far from being done right now. Just going to be having the army of Hero stepping forward down to the bottom side of the map. Has a lot of Phoenix to lift up the Disruptors. That's going to be the answer that Hero is playing right now. Trying to deny this is on the right side. Got a Prism moving in. Gonna stop to try and get the warping going. I think actually getting a lot of damage done to it. A lot of Zealots going to hit Harstem's 3rd. It's going to be an awkward fight. I like the Hallucinate. Disruptors make it difficult to know which ones are which and which ones you should be lifting and which ones you should not be. But these Zealots have just absolutely crushed. And Hero is actually going to take a fight where, as long as these Disruptors aren't landing in a big way, his upgrades actually are going to get a chance to come through. And that's pretty much exactly where we sit right now. Disruptors get a good chance to come through. Do not get a good chance to come through. I mean, this attack on the 3rd just does not get dealt with at all. Imagine he actually got to warp it into the main base, then it would have been even more terrible for Harstem. This could have been an even worse situation, absolutely. And yet it didn't even need to be any worse for how it went. GG's, Hero takes game 1 of this best of 3. Harstem was definitely ahead, but closing that out was a difficulty. All of our round of rates are set, by the way. Clem versus Classic. Actually, sorry, not all. Shin versus Bjorn or Christiana. Christiana is still... Yeah, Christiana is still playing Bjorn. And MaxPax versus Nightmare, and Hero versus Harstem. So it's all Protoss in the bottom half of the bracket. Top half of the bracket looking a little bit more exciting. And that's where we're at here in this WardiTV Monday. Game 2 coming up of Hero versus Harstem. Gonna get this going. Alright, alright, alright. Turns out stalkers suck. Yeah, I mean, kinda. I think Harstem's problem was just upgrades, and to negate the upgrades he had disruptors, but then the disruptors don't land because the Phoenix did a good job of lifting them. So Harstem just... And weird because obviously as well, this is kind of the ideal position for Harstem to fight with disruptors. His opponent is attacking into him. Like, that should have been the dream opportunity that just never came to be. Here on the bottom left, Harstem in the upper right, ley lines for map 2. Get this underway. Here we start. The simulator's building. Just take a few moments here. See where we're gonna go. Hero for a while was playing a lot of expansion builds in this matchup. The second gate comes online. Gateway of Hero going to finish. We'll start up a cyber core on both sides, so the second gate from Hero. Kind of keep an eye on that, because like I say, maybe he just goes one gate expansion, and Harstem has a decision to make on how he tries to punish that or what he might do about it in general. I'm going to finish. Again, Cybercore complete. Stargate starts on both sides. Probe, Warpgate, Zealot. All coming through. Take a couple moments. That probe going to come away. And yeah, just proxy Stargate from Harstem. The Zealot is hunting from Hero. Not clicked towards the Stargate just yet, but obviously time for it to maybe take a turn. Depends how far out it wants to move. The further out you move here, the more exposed you make this Zealot, and the worse off you could end up potentially, so definitely something to be cautious of. Get it back around right now. Again, Stargate coming up, Stalker production. And Hero expands with a Stargate of his own. If he gets away with this, then he's in a great spot. Faster expansion, his own Stargate to harass with. Hero sees that as well, so now he is aware at least of the timing of this Oracle, and that makes it a whole lot easier for you to really deal with this, right? Now you really know a little bit more of how you can handle this one. Is that Zealot going to swipe at that pylon? Stalker coming over, Zealot taking a few more shots. Zealot still being pushed away. Stalker going to turn around for a couple of shots as we go. Phoenix going to move over. Again, Phoenix coming about. The Oracle building. Stalker on the way. Probes, Nexus. All of that continues through for now. As just going to see that Phoenix still chasing that Oracle down. And the Wolf Gate's coming online. The Twilight Council is coming through. Just going to be seeing the Stalkers here. Going to finish off that pylon. The Stargate gets depowered. Continue to chase around. I mean, like I say, not exactly ideal for Harstem because on top of everything else, now he's supply blocked in this game, which just another little kick in the teeth to kind of slow him down on what's already been a pretty rough opener. Pylon finishing, barely gets him out of a supply block, but the Nexus finishing should help Hero. Just trying to get a couple probes ahead, not too much of an economic advantage, but I love his tech. He's going to be on 3 Phoenix that can harass, he's going to be on the Robo coming through. Also going to have 1 Oracle, and then the Blink Stalk is on the way, so different routes at this stage from both players. Continue to see where we end up with. Given a little bit more time here. Stalk's moving. Phoenix gonna get hit by a revelation. As Phoenix move toward the main base, Stalk's gonna get underneath. Phoenix gonna take some shots. Flanking's halfway done. Couple of probes, couple of gateways. All continue to produce here for the moment, so again we bring a lot of that into play. As those Phoenix continue to cruise around, and Mortal in the +1 upgrade coming up as well. The Phoenix all the way around to the top. A couple of assimilators from Hero. Revelation goes down again, so again a little bit more dealt right there. Phoenix up on the top, just going to continue to cruise around. Still got that blink finishing very shortly. A couple of gates coming online as well. Building on the third base. The Phoenix still going to come flying across, so 4 of them make their way across here over that right-hand side. So we're going to have ourselves +1 attack, the Immortal and the Sentry building through. Harstem just taking the third base. I wonder if Hero has, I mean, with +1 and Immortal production, he definitely has the at the very least an opportunity to kind of go pressing forward and go deal some damage, right? I feel like he's got some chance to maybe make something happen there. Gates come online, the Twilight Council. Again, next is in the Forge building as well. As we speak at the moment, just going to be seeing that Stasis Ward coming up too. Just going to put that into position. First, those Stalkers gathering around, going to knock down that hallucination. Also going to be a grab we can make right there as the NG overcharge, or NG recharge, sorry, comes back in. Just going to lose 4 probes as those Phoenix already have a fairly successful starting point to that. Hero keeping the work count even, is just now ready to take his third base. His army very teched up with +2 attack and charge on the way, so again, 2 different styles of play. Harstem playing that more economic, let's get the third up, let's get the economy in the later game rolling, whereas Hero plays the much more, let's get my army set up. That potentially should give him some possible timings here as well, right? There should be some chances for that to potentially come about. On the bottom going to get there. Nexus will go down. Nexus will fall. And that's a nice cancel from Harstem, making use of his blink and utilizing some map control, so is able to benefit from that, absolutely. That's going to work out quite nice. Again, the rest of those units gather back together. Probe still coming together as well. +1 attack and charge continuing through the gateways and a Dark Shrine in production as we speak. The Stalkers around the bottom side going to try and set up as... And a little bit of Zealot Immortal going to step through. We're going to get rid of 1 Zealot. The Immortals are going to fire back. We go back and forth there. Again, a +1 charge coming through. The Dark Shrine about to finish. Robo Facility on the way. Our Stalkers will continue to make a move over for a few moments as well here. Stalkers pull all the way to that left-hand side. Now in the middle of the map, Immortal, Archon, and Charge Lot. I mean, this is exactly where Hero looks to extend that army advantage, right? And just try to make this something meaningful for himself as he pushes straight up towards this third base. Stasis Ward catching. Stasis going to catch another few Zealots in the Archon as well. Units of Harstem coming in toward the bottom left-hand side too. Just going to be seeing the units continue to press forward. Couple force fields coming down. Zealot's going to get stuck. That cannon will go down. And you see another couple of Zealots being picked away at. 3 probes going down. Make it 4. Zealots coming through against Stasis setting up. Just going to be seeing the turn onto your Nexus there. I mean, in terms of base trade, and I much prefer Hero's army in terms of raw power output. It's going to do a lot more damage a lot more quickly. Harstem's army has that mobility to it that could maybe help if this gets drawn out a long time, but that also revolves around him getting units on the map, which he does have a probe on the map at the very least. Like I say, he's going to get a lot more done maybe if this gets drawn out, but Hero is going to power straight through into the main base already, and everything in this main is going to be in trouble. However, Harstem has a Dark Templar. There is one Observer from Hero that's going to need to step up. Harstem has an Oracle that can provide detection. If he can get rid of that Observer, he can win this game, but he must get rid of the Observer. He does have Blink Stalkers. He's got the Oracle for detection. I mean, he doesn't have Blink Stalkers here, so I think he needs to do right now is to try and get a DT elsewhere on the map. There's only, I mean, he also doesn't necessarily know there's only the single obs. So actually going to recall back home. Observer got left here. Austin's going to say GG. He doesn't think he can see a way to win it. I mean, like I say, he doesn't know about the one Observer, and if he snipes it, maybe there's a chance, etc., etc., etc. So he was out of units pretty much as well. So GG's. And Hero is going to take a 2-0 to advance into the semifinals, where he'll play MaxPax or Nightmare. MaxPax Nightmare have been playing for a little bit already, so maybe it shouldn't be too long until they get wrapped up and that semifinal can start. Just gonna let both semifinals start at the same time today, guys. No point drawing it out. Because we're already clashing with another event. We may as well get finished as soon as possible so that everyone can go and watch a single event instead of viewership just being shared. Doesn't really make sense. So we will probably go... We'll probably just let that bottom side start, and then we'll go either Clem Classic or Shin. Oh, Clem Classic just went in game. Let me go to Korea then. We probably wait for Shin's next game. We'll just follow through the top side, bottom side. Semi-final can start whenever it wishes. Alright, BRB when we've got games. Gonna be joining Hero versus Beyond. Sorry, not Hero versus Beyond. Beyond versus Shin. For TVZ Game 2, Beyond leads 1-0. Head into this Game 2 in a couple of moments. Get this going. Kick this off. Guns up 1-0 in this best of 3. Sorry guys, yeah, just dealing with something, hence no commentary. But you guys on news cam. Ranger's gonna shoot up. Hopefully we're gonna take some damage. There's gonna be seeing a stim pack coming through, the cloaking, the banshee all coming up as well. Just gonna see the lings and the queens continue to come around. Additional lings coming in as that marine is gonna knock the overlord out of the sky. It's gonna be popping. Hellions moving to the side again. Engineering bay starting up in the natural. Couple more barracks coming through. away we go. Amazing. Alright. Yeah, I made the mistake of reading Reddit during my during the time waiting for a game to come around. And just an incredible state of our StarCraft where I actually have a hate thread, which is just incredible. What a day. Ay, ay, ay. You guys make a shitty tournament format and you talk about it one time, and apparently you're the worst person in StarCraft. Jesus. Actually, CBA today, guys, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna let you guys watch. I'm gonna chill out for a minute. Those Hellions, that's kind of unfortunate not to live. I just thought if they live and these Marines show up, then maybe Shin's actually in some trouble. Prioritizing melee upgrades, Bane speed not ready. It's kind of a scary moment where Bjorn has +1 as well. What happened in game 1? Bjorn proxy racked. The game was a little bit longer than proxy racked length, but I don't know if he just did enough off the proxy racks and followed it up. Didn't actually see. I think Bane gonna run up, just gonna be seeing those Banes, just gonna slow waddle forward, just gonna be seeing the Marines, just gonna pull back. Oh, that's not good enough at all for Shin. Oh my god. We nearly didn't even get one of the siege tanks, which, I mean, it's kind of disastrous that the other one survives anyway. GG. Alright, we'll come back for the semi-final in a bit, guys. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, our red Protoss player here is going to be Clem in the semi-finals of WardiTV, Mondays 17. In the top right, our blue Terran player is Bjorn as we kick off into this best of 3. See who will advance through to the finals. The winner of this will play either Hero or MaxPax. They're already playing in their series, so we will just see who gets where. Game number 1. Of course, Clem is playing that Protoss, which is kind of the expectation here, not really very surprising. We know he is pretty much committed to playing Protoss in versus Terran matchups, so it's just going to go and get settled down as we have ourselves a couple of barracks coming through from Beyond. So we're going to proxy one and then build one back at home as well. So it's going to set up with that in the early stages. Get that underway. And yeah, like I said, just take a few moments to figure out and look to see where we're going to go over the next little bit. So, see what we can do. Pro comes up, nibbles at that SCV. SCV taking some damage. Barracks about to finish building here. And Cybercore and the Zealot still building up as well. Just going to see the SCV and the Pro going to fight back against each other. Again, the Barracks, the Orbital, the Marine continue to come through for a few moments as we get ourselves settled down. A Nexus on the natural expansion coming through as well. So just going to get that up and running. And that Marine going to go after the Probe. Not quite going to get there as that Probe makes a getaway. That Probe escaping up to the top side for the moment. Going to be out of there and yeah, doesn't want to talk about it. So yeah, Probe falls. We saw yesterday in Monster Coliseum, I think, a pretty good example of how you can actually do a very good job as some, you know, as a Terran, kind of to play against Clem's Protoss and the way he likes to play. I think Spirit really showed us a very good example of how to deal with that. As you see our Zealot going toward the upper right-hand side of the map. Again, concussive shells coming through, halfway done. Marauder coming up as well. So a couple Marauders coming in for the moment here. Just going to have ourselves the Nexus finishing shortly. Twilight Council building. And there's a reactor coming up on the barracks as well. That's just going to see the Zealot, the Adept both moving towards the natural. Just going to see our Marauders popping, concussive shells finishing. Adept shading in toward the main base, but not going to get very far. Reactor finishing up on the barracks. Couple more Marines coming through. And this is where Clem is in a lot of trouble because he really just didn't quite see what was coming. And this pylon is going to go down immediately. 2 Marauders and a few Marines pretty powerful at this stage. And again, with that concussive shells especially, there's a lot you can do against early gateway units at this point. Adept is never going to want to truly commit into that, obviously. There's another Marauder coming up. That gateway at the front will be going down. That Stalker nearly falling as well, again, showing you the power of those Marauders. And in fact, we're going to have to pull probes into this. That's where the Marines are going to do well. They can deal a lot of DPS still, as we do at least deny the bunker from coming up. So Clem going down this ramp and chasing them, that group of units away. Just going to be seeing the Marauders, the Marines all having to pull out of here. Another Marauder showing up. Again, all those probes dropping. That's a lot of damage taken, though, and I think Clem is going to be in a little bit of trouble, because I think he just didn't see what was coming his way soon enough to really start adapting to it. Gun obviously has been committed. His CC is only just halfway done, not even finished. It's on the high ground as well. There's still a question mark of, does Clem have some recovery time here before this really gets completely out of hand? An Adept and a couple of Stalkers are going to step through. That's not going to be good at all. 2 Marauders against those Stalkers are going to win that fight, and then the Adept will not last long afterward either. Try and target down the Marauder, basically does no damage as well. And Clem is well going to keep trailing out a unit at a time, and Gun is just going to keep on killing them at this rate. That gateway goes down as well. Just going to see the Nexus will take a few more shots. Yeah, Bio actually gonna have Stim now as well. It's even worse for Clem as he has to pull the probes once more, but now the Stimmed Marauders and Marines, we're going to get rid of one of those Stalkers. GG is called, and Clem taps out for Bjorn to take a game 1 of this best of 3. So Bjorn takes the opening game. We'll go into game 2 in a second. Head into more games momentarily in this series. So game 2 coming through. get that set up and underway. Is Clem allowed a race swap? We have no rules. He can do whatever he wants, but he's not going to race swap. He plays Protoss versus Terra now. It's just how he plays. This is not a try it and see. This is 100% he's committed to playing Protoss. Because we have an instant pause, so give us a sec. And we can go.
Game resumed.
In the top left, I read Protoss player from Team Liquid is Clem. He's down a game. Heading into this game 2 now. Is in the bottom right. Our blue Terran player is Bjorn from the Shopify Rebellion. Neon Violet Square, big map. It's CV. That's the depot going. Starts that off. And away we will go. Tanks is going to start moving through. I'm just going to get that underway as the gateway comes up. Probe on the way through. Getting settled here for a couple of moments. Going to see our probe moving into the main base. And the SCV will come and push that probe back the other direction. So a little bit of setup there. As the Cyber Core continues to build on in. Again, Order Command and the Marine coming up. And a Nexus coming through on the side of Clem, so nothing too surprising. Start us off here. Pretty much kind of what we assume is going to happen in this matchup. The Marine comes chasing through. That probe gets hunted. That's going to get pushed back as well. Probe comes back down, heading toward the bottom side here. And factory over on the left, CC coming up, reactor and the gas coming in as well. Just gonna see that Nexus, probe and Adept, warp gate as well, continue to build to get this underway. Adept gonna shade out. Again, that Stargate will build, just gonna get the Nexus coming by. And our CC building up as well. Just gonna get the factory build and reactor coming through. Warp gate coming up. And a couple of additional marines. And the Widow Mine from beyond. In production as well. So getting all of that on the way in for now. Just gonna have our CC about to complete. Starport coming online. Stargate as well. That depth really is just gonna shade all the way down towards the ramp. Push up towards the top. CC gonna morph into the orbital. And Adept is going to whack away at the reactor for a little bit, so a little bit of additional damage being done here. Adept's going to fire up. A few of those Marines take damage again. Again, the Phoenix gathering up, the warp gate on the way. Couple of probies also in production for the moment. Medvac and the two Marines continue to produce through. Phoenix and the Warp Gate building up. And that robot facility coming online here as we speak. Just getting that on the go. The assimilators coming through. On the bottom right side, there's a little bit of action going on as well. The Adepts and the Marines are going to find a bit of back and forth on each other, so... Gun just built into Marine Tank Liberator. Very aggressive combination of units. Absolutely potential to kind of come through with a big shove across the map. There's some annoying positions to deal with here on the Unviolet Square. When the Terran player gets set up on this left side, for example, these rocks you can set up on the left side of those and just attack into the natural from there. Obviously, there's the multi-prong potential as well. Yeah, lifting up the Widow Mines is not exactly great against Phoenix. I think in general, Phoenix is not great to be playing against at all, and I think Bjorn is just going to say, nope, GG. Bjorn leaves the game very quickly against Clem's Protoss. Did this last time they played as well. Good time for Clem to play Protoss, to play Phoenix as well, because he usually plays a lot of Blink, and I think that's exactly what Bjorn's build was designed around. So yeah. Audio Masterclass Screencast yesterday was entertaining, arguing confusion about tiebreakers and forgetting to know if the copyright music was hilarious. Yeah, well, now I'm Reddit's #1 enemy for having an opinion about that tournament format. So not so entertaining on my side. Top left-hand side, Red Protoss player from Team Liquid is Clem. Bottom right side, our Blue Terran is Bjorn. Let me get this underway. Just gonna see a couple gases in the barracks coming through. And Rack's about to finish. Cybercore coming up. Reactor in the orbital continuing through as well. We're just going to nibble about that depot SCV coming back over. 2 Reapers on the way right now is gonna provide a little bit of pressure that Bjorn can apply early. Clem should be showing us some tech structure fairly soon, so we know what sort of style we're going to play. Twilight Council, going to come up right here. So it's going to be the Twilight Council. That's the choice for the moment. So Twilight Council will begin. Just going to be seeing a couple of Reapers coming around, the Nexus coming through, and our Warp Gate continue to produce as well. Starfall coming online, CC coming up. Scepter's going to be coming over. And Reapers and the Hellion on the bottom. Just going to see that starport still moving over. Gateway battery. A couple of Reapers and the Hellion moving through. The Blink is coming up as well. And a lot of that brought into play for the moment. This Clem a main Protoss now. Only when he plays against Terran. He plays Terran versus Zerg, Terran versus Protoss. He plays Protoss versus Terran. He has not played a TVT, I want to say in like 2 months almost now. Something like that. One depth goes down, the other gets chased again. Banshee, Siege Tank, Cloaking, all coming up. The Blink on the way through as well. It's going to be happening. The Hellion and the Marines can chase that Adept away. Reddit strikes again. Honestly, I wasn't even that bothered about the Reddit thread. I'm just already in a kind of a shitty mood because of the tournament that decided to reschedule that tournament to exactly on top of ours with 1 day's notice. TLDR basically today is just me versus the things I hate most about running tournaments, which is that no one ever respects my tournaments in their schedule, and that also, well, Reddit kind of go hand in hand. So yeah, I'm just not in a good mood today, guys. I'm sorry. I know I just shouldn't care. It'd probably be absolutely fine if I just got on with my life and was a big boy and just casted normally, but my brain just ain't there. So apologies. As our Banshee shows up, gonna knock a few probes around. Some damage being done. Nice to get in to do a little bit of damage as just gonna see one probe. Gonna take some shots. The Adept will fall as well. It's definitely where Bjorn wants to try and get something done, right? 3 workers going down. The Stalker's gonna get there to push the Banshee away through the top side. Third Nexus will build. But Clem is coming across the map, so this is where his Blink is gonna try and get damage done. The tanks are set up nice and defensively. Clem is always trying to push the limit of what he can achieve with these Stalkers, and this was a bad blink. Both those tanks were positioned very well for exactly where Clem blinked in. He really kind of blinked in between both of them. And with the Banshees still doing damage on the other side, Clem is taking some significant damage, and Bjorn is getting into a very good spot here, as Clem is facing some resistance. So there's always going to be an interesting question mark of what if people really figured out what Clem was very good at when he was playing PvT? You know, and they started to really kind of do a lot to kind of work against that. Now, that's not just a guarantee, because Blink's a very, malleable style where even if you know what's going on, even if you know what's happening, then it doesn't necessarily change everything. That's not just an answer, right? So, like, knowledge and information is, can't always just be like, aha, well now I know you're going to do Blink every time. Because MaxPax sees loads of success on the same kind of style, right? But it will be interesting to see how Clem continues to adapt his style and continues to try and do a little bit more as well, right? So, we shall see. And Gateway's coming up, Temple Archives coming through, Charge on the +1 still coming in, the Prism moving around on the right side there as the Barracks going to come across, it's going to drop a Tech Lab down. Temple Archives, the Gateways, the Probe, +1 charge. Bit of everything continuing through as our Storm starts up on the Temple Archives as well. Clem has built up to a 16 worker lead during this, but there's definitely going to be a... I mean, his upgrade's finished. I'd expect a shove from Bjorn, but you kind of look at the game and you're like, well, what's he going to be shoving into or shoving with? I mean, shoving into Storm is not exactly ideal. He is going to have a third CC, so it's not like Bjorn's going to be all in or anything. It's just, he's got to make a bit of a play here, right? Like, he's got to make something happen. Like I say, that's more difficult to do when Clem has got the High Templars. He's got them in the Prism, so they're already safe as well. Fire coming across, the Zald's gathering, Prism overhead. Plus one attack coming through, the Nexus and the Cannon coming about. And we've seen the Stalker getting killed off as well, and there's Bioforce still pressing up to the top as Bjorn settles in the middle of the map. 9 more Zalds coming through, Robo Bay coming up, Nexus on the way. And then also producing as we just have the Banshee. In the back, going to get a couple more probes. I'm just going to try and run at the front here. I mean, those are pretty disgusting storms. I mean, this looked like a sort of fight where I was like, ah, and then it's like, well, the storms land and the entire Terran army's just not ready to fight, apparently. Storms like that are always going to put you in very good positions now. You lose some pros, we've already killed a lot of SCVs. Third base not landed right now either. A few more warpins come through. And the Banshee's still putting working on the other side. I mean, credit to this Banshee. Without the Banshee, I think Gun would have been already out of this game just completely, but there's another storm coming by. Medivacs hurting on that a little bit. The Zealots, are we in good enough numbers here? Stalker's going to go forward for a Medivac and then just pull back. I think Clem's just out of energy and really needs a moment to recharge and regroup more than anything else at the moment, so just going to try and work on that for, like I say, a few moments here, get this resettled, get back to going once more as a +2 attack, and our Colossus coming in, extended thermal lance is producing 2. Single Zealot at the front taking damage, there's one storm. Do we not have other storms? Oh, Clem's going to lose a lot of Stalkers. It looked like he had storms and he just didn't drop them. Maybe he was just shy of the energy necessary. I can't imagine why he wouldn't have dropped the storm sooner, because it probably would have saved his Stalkers if he'd been able to make a play on that, but it didn't turn out to be the case. Solid Stalker Archon coming back over. Clem is going to have enough, even after maybe a missed storm or so. GG's. Clem takes it to the finals of WardiTV Mondays, where it is going to be Clem versus, to be decided. Apparently MaxPax and Hero are still playing, so they've been in game for 4 minutes, so we need, I assume, MaxPax and Hero. Excuse me, I assume MaxPax and Hero are probably probably tied up. They've been playing a long time, so they either played a very long game 1, or they've played a kind of regular 2 games, and it's just tied 1-1 right now. Alright, we'll take a break. We'll come back as soon as we have MaxPax Hero information, guys. Back whenever we have a game. Top left of Whispers of Gold for game number 1 of our grand finals is going to be the red Terran player here, Clem. Taking on the blue Protoss in the bottom right corner of the map, we have Hero. Hero 2-1 over MaxPax in the round of 4, Clem 2-1 over Beyond. To bring us here into this grand final best of 5. Kicking this off, getting this underway, and seeing where we're going to take things as we settle down for a few moments. SCV in the deep are coming about, Pal and the probe coming up. What kind of styles are we going to see? Sonic Whispers, pretty aggressive map over a smaller one, so definitely potential for some aggression to come through from some of that at some points. Let's have our racks in the refinery coming through. It's a couple of refineries even. So we're going to see double gas from Clem on the opening. That's the first part of his plan. Again, those gases come online. The gateway coming through. Probe in production. Just gets settled here. For a few moments as the probe comes down to the natural. Again, barracks coming through. The gateway coming up. Why did I get the big SE2 anti-air unit figure or air unit figures? The original designs are by a place called Dark Horse Comics. So the ones they sell in the Blizzard store are like basically the same thing, just more mass-produced. The bigger versions you had to order or pre-order because they only made so many of them. So yeah, the bigger versions are from the original launch. I can't remember how many they made of each, but they're basically limited edition. But they are essentially the same ones as you get from the Blizzard store. Just the Blizzard store ones are, yes, much smaller. Still going to shoot. Reaper takes a hit and goes the other direction. Pelicans coming through, Nexus building up, the Adept and the Warp Gate continue to come by as well. Again, early game, not going to be too crazy. That Twilight Council being on the way for the moment. Going to be our starting point here. And let's just see that Reaper hanging back around on the low ground. It's just going to continue to move around a little bit for the moment. Try to see what else is going on. So we'll just hang around again. The couple of Reapers going to poke with the Hellion moving through as well in toward the natural. The Adept going to be there. One Reaper goes down already. Second Reaper taking some nibbles. The probe nibbling at that Reaper as well. And Reaper and Hellion will commit through, and they will get rid of just a couple of probes here to start us off. I'm going to bring that blink up. The Warp Gate coming through. Robo Facility in production. I'm going to get the Raven, so a little bit more harassing potential for him. That Raven can do a lot in that regard, so definitely something we can take a peek at as we move through. Just going to be seeing the Adept stepping into the middle of the map here for a couple of moments. And Bunker just going to be there. Dep gets turned the other direction. Robo Facility and Gateway is still building up. Probes in the Blink coming through as well. Marines in the Siege Tank on the way out on the side of Clem. So we get all of that in production. We continue to build just for a few moments. Having ourselves again that Stimpack coming through, the Orbs and the Assimilators coming about, so we get a lot of that coming into play as well. Engineering bay coming through. The barracks is still building. People are coming up as well. Axis drops down. Have ourselves again the Stimpack Combat +1. All of that continue to come through just for a few moments here. Have again a Raven still cruising. Would obviously love to get in and drop some order turrets on the other side of the map most expectedly, so trying to see if there's success to be had in that regard. It's gonna be seeing the Raven coming all the way down. Gonna see the third base as well, so just get some confirmation on timings there as well. Raven comes all the way around the bottom side. Again, Storm on the way up, the charge coming by, +1 attack and combat shield coming through as well. And a couple of Medivacs and Marauder in production. Additional gateways continue to come online. Just bringing that up. Again, +1 attack, plus of shells, both continue to be brought into play for the moment here. Just going to be having our couple Widow Mines producing through as well. So a lot of that coming in right now. Again, that High Templar warping in. Just going to be seeing our Raven comes back through. Again, just going to be seeing the probe line already going to be in some trouble. So the order turret getting put to work there straight away. The extra gates coming up, the probes coming through. And away we go. Marauders, Medivacs continue to be built up. Prism and the High Templar coming through. And just going to get that Prism Chrono boosting along. As you see, I'm going to go and drop down onto that third base location. It's just going to get that going as well. A couple more Zealots coming over. Again, the Viking Marauders +1 armor continue to come across. Again, Zealot in the pylon, building through. I'm just sitting here quite defensively on that third base as Hero gets ready to start pushing and shoving into trying to assert his upgrade dominance with that Storm especially. Would love to try and get something out of that, so that's the expectation right now. But I don't know whose camera on, but they were off to the side and not watching the start of this fight. That's a decent Storm. First Storm didn't look too great, the second Storm there obviously a lot better. And tank firing away and connecting. The Zealots charge through into that natural expansion. Fire will continue over, and the SCV's pulling in the rest of this army. And try and fight around. Clem's supply looking very good on the tail end of this, as if these High Templars don't drop their Storms, it's pretty rough. I mean, the Zealots right now take a good fight because we're a little bit outnumbered here as Clem. Zealots coming back across, SCV's getting chased, another couple of Storms coming down. And the Immortal coming up, a Ghost in production, more Zealots in production as well. Continue to go with as much as possible here as Hero is still just firing through, but I mean, I feel as though Hero, while he's doing SCV damage, his army supply just isn't great. The moment he doesn't have any Storms remaining is going to be terrifying for him, because that's the moment in which Clem is going to absolutely overwhelm this army. Now, has that been enough time for Hero to get damage done here? I'm not immediately convinced, honestly. The extra Zealots warp in beneath that Prism, the Immortal there to keep pushing forwards. The Zealots is going to go charging up. Widow Mine setting up, the Viking's going to gather. And then we continue to charge in. Zealot goes down. Oh, Ghost, Marines, Widow Mines coming through. The refinery's building. Vikings chasing the Prism away. And again, we get pushed down to the bottom side for foreseeable future. High Templars gonna get warping. Zealots and the Immortal coming up. And again, an order turret going in after some probes for a few moments, just trying to deal some more damage. Prism's actually going to get shot down there, so that will fall. Zealot Archon going to chase forward. Widow Mines are going to fire up. There's a bunch of Zealots taking damage. GG says Hero. I mean, he was basically just pushing and pushing and pushing non-stop. Eventually says GG. That is going to be game number 1. Going the way of Clem. Game 2 in a moment. Bottom right hand side, defending his way to a 1-0 lead is going to be the red Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. Taking on the blue Protoss on the top left hand side. We have ourselves Hero. SCV to the top as Clem moves across. Away we go. So already a little cheekiness out of Clem here for this game 2. Probe is going to get found, so the proxy is going to be figured out right from the start. And now, Clem, how do you deal with this? Can you actually get this barracks finished? First of all, you're in a good position to move that SCV around and try and keep it safe away from the probe as long as the SCV wants to save itself. Not going to happen so far, and we've got quite a way to go on building this barracks up. Now a second probe to guarantee it as we try and block with the depot. That's not going to be good enough, and this is not a great start from Clem, who's now facing a very heavily delayed barracks. And of course, you see the another SCV coming over. I think that's got a good chance of obviously finishing that Rex. But yeah, Clem is just going to be in a very tough spot because the barracks just being delayed delays your orbital, it delays the entire rest of your build order, right? So definitely not ideal. Probe still nibbling, SCV taking damage. Well, like I say, just gonna have to build another barracks up. He starts a CC, I mean, super heavily delayed early on. Definitely not where you want to be at all. This really does feel rough for our Terran player. Leading this series, but a rough start of game 2. Proxy found, and we're gonna end up in a difficult place. As, again, the factory, CC building up now. We try and play a little bit of recovery, but we will see where we end up. As the Adept comes over, and Probe's still patrolling about. Reaper and the Orbital coming through as well. Having Adept going to try and chase that Reaper down. Does not commit to it though. Decides doesn't want to. We see the Adept still hanging around for a little bit. Obviously, we'll still try and poke away for a little bit more damage wherever possible. Trying the best to get whatever we can done, as we have got ourselves a proxy in the natural of Clem. I mean, to be fair, Hero is in a position where he knows Clem is heavily delayed. So any build that Hero goes for, Clem is going to have a delayed response to. And that's going to make it very difficult for Clem. So let's see how this continues. Adept and the Stalker come about. Going to hit the depot as we turn away for a little bit. Going to be seeing an extra couple Stalkers warping in right now. Robo Facility coming up. Gateway probes coming by as well. The Hellion going to be there to try and fight against the Adept and the Stalkers. Are trying to make a return. The Stalkers just going to get chased over that corner, and you get a couple of depots. Taking some damage there. The Hellion still chasing. Extra Stalkers warping in. 3 SCVs going down. Now a couple of Hellions get picked away at SCVs. I mean, there's just no defending this. You take too much damage off losing the initial barracks. GG. Top right hand side, our Red Terran player having a bit of a disastrous game 2. Is going to be looking to bounce back now. Clem in the top right corner of ley lines. As in the bottom left, our blue Protoss from Dragon Kaisi is going to be Hero. Thank you, Rack, for the 11-month resub. Appreciate it. Trying to boost on the probes. It's going to be setting ourselves up here to see if we can see success early in this game 3. Again, don't think Clem's going to try any proxy shenanigans this time. That really just went wrong and stayed wrong. Take one wrong turn and then you end up really down a very deadly path is kind of the story that happened there. The probe moves up. It's going to come across. SUV chases, probe getting hunted. SCV and the probe just going to go back and forth a little bit. Maybe just get rid of the probes. Little scouting worker get knocked down. We're now going to head down to the bottom left-hand side. Take a couple of moments moving across here. The adept continues to build, and away we go. The adept continues to come about. Okay, we're going to fire. Probe is going to be taking some damage. It's going to see the other probes coming over. Okay, 2 workers going down. The adept continues to gather up. It's going to be seeing the zealot. Going to come swiping through at the supply depot, so all the damage done here right from the very get-go. Let's just see SCV's trying to play the repairing game. Again, some pressure initially. It's going to be seeing the adept going to try and shade up as well. Twilight Council continues to produce. Marine's going to load into that medevac. We're going to begin to go and potentially cruise across to the direction. Trying to do some damage on the other side. Marines, wouldn't mind dropping out. The adept gets chased. Adept getting hunted. Wouldn't mind turns around, hits an adept in return as well. Cyclone, Marine continue to come through. The couple gates and the probes blink as well. Continue to come online for the moment. So again, getting a lot of that up and rolling here is... We're going to drop a robo facility down onto the natural. Get that in position immediately. So those three Marines still trying to get a little bit of value found. Just going to be seeing the robo facility and that blink continue to come up as well. Ourselves the couple of stalkers now coming across the map here. I'll try and make a bit of a dive to the other side and see if we can put a little bit of pressure on. We got the blink about to be done for him, so it is time for him to be able to kind of stand up and say, right, yes, now I've got myself the ability to kind of, you know, trade and to be effective with this. The Marines coming about, the siege tank coming through as well. All of that just continues in. For the moment here, as our Stalkers are going to try their best to actually jump across toward those Marines, unable to for the moment, however. Not going to see any success there. So the depot going down to the starport moves to the left of the factory. The barracks going to move over to the tech lab. Still got our prism and charge continue to come online for the moment. Again, back and combat shield continue to come through. And stim combat +1. Getting a bit of everything on the go, +1 attack and charge. I mean, it's going to unload in this corner, but there's units nearby. Very hopeful attempt. And stimp back, combat +1, bit of everything building here. And we just take a few moments as the reactor finishes up on that starport as well. Immortal about to come through. I like that Clem stars this medevac around. Always nice to have the option at least of kind of being able to poke on through, and it definitely keeps your opponent in a little bit of like a little bit of an awkward spot. They're a little afraid that this potentially can do a lot of work. You gotta be careful on that one. There's a couple of zealots come through. What's up, Mark? Thank you for the 122 resub. Appreciate it. Battery's coming in. Mortal in the +1 coming up. Zealot in production. +1 halfway done. Concussive shells coming over. And again, a couple of extra barracks building from Clem as well. So we just got to settle down. But now, Marines come across. Just going to be chasing those stalkers down. Chase, chase, chase. Fire steps straight through. Cyclone walks onto that prism. The Marines get there, hitting the stalkers a little bit. The prism unloading. And the Zealot's going to start charging forward. A couple of SCVs will be dropping. The siege tank flanking away, and a couple of those Zealots will be dropping down as well. Bio going to fire, turning it around. We have the rest of this Bio coming up this ramp. A couple stalkers going to get chased the other direction as well. So a little bit more damage coming through there. Force Field's dropping down. I mean, nice position for Clem to kind of work forward from. And that's going to be Hero's issue as he leaks a couple of Zealots in already. Actually, good tank shots on those Zealots. Actually, looks like Clem, I was going to say, maybe could run up the ramp and go towards the top base. Maybe he's actually genuinely afraid of the Zealot reinforcements. And so steps away and looks to reinforce before he commits to more of a fight. That's that drop. We mentioned it much earlier. The benefit of keeping it alive is exactly this. Being able to show up right here. Just a few Marines, the Widowmine, able to come straight through. Widowmine hits the Stalker as well. That is exactly the value we're talking about, right? As we do have our other units going to gather back up in the center again. I mean, now there's a Colossus out, so it's not like Hero has been doing nothing with this time. He has been progressing his tech. More tech units out, the better a chance of holding an attack like this one. But a Colossus with that range is going to struggle. Getting into a fight without just being targeted down and nuked by the siege tanks is going to be extremely difficult. And that's 100% going to be one of the issues over these next few moments as the units wrap around from the right-hand side. Colossus starts to fire. Like I say, those tanks are going to get to work immediately. The Colossus super low, but it is going to get out alive. The problem is super low and gives Clem a bit of confidence to potentially chase. He brings that medevac that was harassing back into place. There goes the Colossus, and the supply of Hero is just plummeting. GG's. Mortal's dead, Colossus dead, everything dead, apart from Clem's army, which is still very much so alive and kicking to the dismay of Hero here in this game number 3. Clem gets the Nexus. There's a couple of Vikings, the Marines coming through, Ghost Academy coming up as well. So you see our Bio fighting, a couple of Pylons taking some damage, a Colossus right there as well. Gonna try and do something. Help us out here, just gonna be seeing a couple of Colossus will step forward. Again, Armory, Ghost Academy, continuing through that. Ghost Academy almost finished. I mean, Armory obviously a ways off. And 2-2 will be a bit late for Clem, but I'm not sure if that will matter. He has a few units at home to deal with the Zealot run by here. Well, Widowmine's going to be nice as well, and actually the Zealots clump a little bit, so Widowmines even get the splash damage to help him along the way. Dive in here. That's obviously never going to go well if the Colossus are... I mean, right-clicking the Marines is the right idea, but obviously you're chasing into tanks. It's not going to end well. Jeez. In the bottom left of El Dorado. Up 2-1, map away from winning this week's edition of the Monday Cup. It's going to be Clem. In the bottom right, our Blue Protoss player Hero. To go into game 4. Maxing the gas. Coming online. Couple of gases on the side of Clem, so once again a little bit more on the aggressive side of life. Tactical drops down, an orbital command and a Reaper going to be the starting point here. Just going to get that underway. Coming over that right hand side again. Nexus and the assimilator coming through as well, so we just got a little bit extra setup here for the next few moments. Again, the factory, the reactor, all coming up. Nexus comes in as well, so again, just getting into play. We're going to hop into the natural and let's see what Clem can do with his first little bit of pressure here on this one. As the deck going to chase, Reaper will take a few shots of damage. Again, Stargate coming up, the Nexus online very soon as the probe and the adept production continues. Has ESL confirmed any SC2 schedule for 2025? Nope. There's no StarCraft 2 circuit this year, as far as we know. Even in 2025's tournaments still clash with each other. Yeah, well. What's new? It's okay. I enjoy throwing $200 away for no reason. Because other people don't care. It's very, very exciting. At least some StarCraft players get it. The only benefit. It's funny that OSC are most polite in scheduling. Well, OSC are awesome. They're very communicative. And also very happy to help us move around other events that pop up. I mean, their format kind of lets you do that to some extent as well, so... yeah. It's, definitely a shame that... I mean, it... yeah, I'm not even going to get into it. I'm just going to rant again. I don't need to rant more than I've already ranted today. Okay, we're coming down, finishing the wall off. Phoenix coming through. We actually have a Widow Mine onto those gold minerals. Is it just me or does Wardy seem salty these days? Oh, buddy, I am absolutely fuming right now. I'm not in a good mood. So, yes, I am extremely salty. I'm not impressed that someone messaged me less than 24 hours before my tournament and said, sorry, I know you asked us not to, you know, take the same days as your event, but we're going to. For no reason other than the fact that we want to. And I'm also salty that Reddit has been shit again. I'm just not in a good mood. So, yes, I probably am a bit salty. Quick, go make a Reddit thread. You can call me out for that as well. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, honestly, I don't really want to be here casting, to be honest. So, just enjoy the games, because there's a lot of other people streaming. You can also go watch them if you don't want to listen to me. Okay? Cool. Phoenix going to patrol around on the bottom side. Fire units on the top. It's going to be seeing the couple of Vikings, the tank coming over, the barracks coming in as well. Just continue to get set up for the moment. A couple extra Vikings continuing through. The Adept will shade up. Cyclone is going to get there, and that Adept will go down. A couple of Scorps will warp in with us. The Phoenix going to be taking some damage already. Phoenix are just taking an absolute beating. That's not good. If these Phoenix don't get rid of enough of these anti-air units, then, I mean, Clem just wins the game and he just wins the turn. GG. Clem wins it. Here's your WardiTV Monday 17 champ. GG's. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more StarCraft. There might be no Monday Cup next week as well. GG's.